I took 90 days to find balance in my life, and I captured these moments so hopefully you could be inspired to soul blaze your life. While I'm in Arizona, I'm also meeting my good friend and coach, Steve Hardison, who I always love to see. And he's introducing me to his friend, Nadine Larder, who transformed his basic utilitarian brick wall into a masterpiece. Anytime I was visiting him, I'm like, who did this wall? Who is this woman? I gotta meet her. So this is gonna be a very interesting conversation because she not only transformed that wall, but while doing that wall, she transformed herself and had a huge weight loss and kept it off. So I want to know what happened there, how she did it, and what it's all about. We're so blessed to be here and to be in front of your amazing mural.
Oh.
So I just sat here and looking at everything you're doing, going, what was in your mind when you were creating such art? Because I love art and I know it moves souls and I know it transforms lives.
Yeah.
And I saw your life transforming before my eyes as I was stalking you. You were shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and wearing sexier and sexier clothes and posing. I'm like, wow, what is she up to? What is she doing? And why couldn't you do that before? And why now? And why with the marriage of this mural doing this and that inspiration for weight loss, self-love, and self-forgiveness?
I had a story so ingrained in me, Lisa, that I could not create art. Where you just don't even try because you've already decided that you can't even do it.
Or you've tried it once or twice and someone said, oh, you're terrible. And then you say, oh, I'm terrible. And you don't
And then
try.
you just don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, I hadn't even had that. I just decided it's just paint. What is it going to hurt? You paint it, you don't like it, you paint over the top of it. And it's like, so as I started experimenting, and the funny thing is, I had no idea what was going to happen because intuitive painting, you're literally just following your intuition. The whole journey I've been on, I have been shedding a lot of fear. And I believe that when I'm shedding the fear, I shed the pounds.
So how do you do that? I was watching you lose weight over the past 6 months and it's been steady. Yeah. It's not like you fell backwards.
No.
And now, so what was
I have not relapsed at all.
How did you flip the switch?
I was abusing myself with food. And I was obese. I was not overweight. I was, the technical term, medical term, obese. When I looked in the mirror, I would go, you're disgusting. Like, I am so disgusted with you. You look horrible. Look how fat you are. You're gross. It's like, why does my husband even want to stay married to me? I'm so fat. I'm so ugly to look at. I look terrible in my clothes. I look terrible in the pictures. My kids are probably embarrassed of me because I'm obese. And it's like I had all of these stories and they're just freaking stories.
They're all stories.
Just like I had stories that I couldn't do this. I was sure I could not even paint a little teeny tiny canvas. And so it's like I had to come to a place where I could look in the mirror and go, I love you. I don't care that you are 100 pounds overweight. I love you. My body had been protecting me for 40 years while I was abusing it. And I'm no different than any other addict. My drug of choice was just not alcohol, gambling, or pills, or heroin, or my drug of choice was food.
How did you do it?
When
you looked at yourself in the mirror and said, I don't want to be this person anymore. This isn't me.
I'm terribly sick.
Okay.
I got to a point, like I finished the wall. I went on. I could not get out of bed for 6 months. I was depressed. I kept
After finishing this wall?
Yes.
Wow, I thought this would give you so much confidence. And okay.
It wasn't quite done. I wasn't quite there yet.
Okay.
And so I got really sick. And it was like, and I went to the doctor and I'm pleading, tell me what's wrong. What is wrong with me? Why am I so sick? Am I dying? Do I have cancer? What is happening? He said, I would really like if you had half of the plate was covered in vegetables. And I hate vegetables. So that was a problem for me.
Okay.
And so he asked me to rearrange things on my plate. And I'm like, I'm so sick, I'll do anything you tell me to. If I can do this, I can do
Anything. Absolutely. That's why I think once you did this, you're going, oh my God, now I'm going to match this to that. And it just came off.
And it really literally did melt off. It's
It
like
did melt off.
did
I
melt
watched
off.
you going, what is she doing? Oh my God. And each
literally-
picture, it wasn't just the fat, it was the, your energy was shifting
Yes.
and you were vibrating. You were showing up. Before it was like this. And
I
you
was-
slowly were going like this and receiving.
I was
and it was
opening
like,
up,
wow.
and it was like, because who's the most important person that we have to love?
Yeah,
Ourselves. And I did not love myself. I
Yes.
hated myself. I would trash myself every day. And it's like the first thing I have to do is stop trashing myself.
Yes, absolutely.
I got to stop.
And once you get the mental together and the emotional together, then the food could start coming off.
And it's like,
Once you-
so I was terrified. But I thought, if I can do this,
Yeah.
I can do this.
Yes.
And so I cried I cried and cried and cried the day I decided I was not going to eat sugar anymore. It was so huge because I really.
Do you mean sugar even like in anything?
I have not had sugar in over 18 months. And then the other thing I gave up was alcohol. I would have a vodka almost every night. I would say out of 10 nights, 9 I had a vodka. We use fat to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
And fat is a protection. Because when you have a fat cell, your fat cells are just filled with toxins. And if those fat cells did not hold the toxins, they'd be in your bloodstream and you'd die. So I looked at that and I went, thank you, fat cells. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for protecting my body from all of the damage that could have been done when I ate this and ate that turned into that fat cell. Thank you so much for storing my toxins. You could go now. And I literally would talk to my fat cells.
And then the weight started
And
coming
it
off.
would just start, it literally melted off. It took me 1 year to lose 70 pounds. I had to forgive what I had done to my body.
And once you forgive, you could start loving yourself. And if you don't love yourself, you're not going to work hard for yourself. Look how much we do for other people. But to do it for ourselves, are you kidding? I'll sleep in, or I don't care, or I'll eat that pasta.
I have 5 kids.
Yes.
I knocked myself out every day to serve them, but I never took care of me.
There's no time for you.
No.
And then you stop liking you. You don't like yourself anymore because you're like, oh, I don't like what I'm becoming, and your thoughts in your head because you're like, I'm not doing anything I love, what I enjoy. You start withering away.
And you know, the relationship that you have with yourself determines the relationship you have with food.
Yes. And with other people.
Yes.
To allow someone else to love you or to love someone else. You can't love someone else if you don't love you.
No, and you can't receive
you
more.
can't receive.
You cannot receive more love than what you have for yourself.
Yes, and like this is a masterpiece, and now you created a masterpiece here, inside first, and then on the outside, which is so beautiful.
It's been an incredible journey.